Morning peeps, good morning everyone, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Let's have a look and see what there is today. Let's start here. Vasily Lomachenko to face Shakur Stevenson with win over George Kambosos. We'll see. We'll see how he looks, right? If he struggles against Kambosos, even if he wins, if he struggles, then I don't think anyone's going to be calling for a Shakur Stevenson fight. If he blows Kambosos away, a bit like Devin Haney did in that second fight with Kambosos, then yeah, there might be some appetite for it. I feel like this is Bob Arum speak, if anything. Obviously, Shakur's got one fight left on his top-ranked contract, and if you're trying to lock him down to another 2 or 3 fights, then I guess you're trying to offer him Lomachenko as a reason for him to stay. I don't think he does stay. I think he goes to either PBC or DAZN, especially if he wants to go to 140. If he wants to go to 140, then you only have to look at all the fighters DAZN have. Basically, DAZN have got the 140 division locked up, right? If he's trying to get the Gervonta Davis fight, then you go to PBC. So yeah, I think Shakur Stevenson's leaving. And I don't even know if Loma, I don't know what the want is for Loma anymore. Like, I'm the biggest Loma fan, but the fact is he's 36. He's had a long career, especially when you factor in the amateur side of things. He's had a lot of injuries. I don't know. I don't know what he wants to do next. Like, even if he does look fantastic against Kambosos, like, what's his super fight? Like, what's the one fight he wants next? I think it could be Gervonta. I think he'll look at that as the biggest money fight, win or lose, right? He'll make a lot of money. I think the fight will sell well, but I don't know if Top Rank and PBC have that working relationship. So we'll see what happens. WBO calls for Artur Beterbiev to provide medical details of injury. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that almost should be a mandatory thing you do. Like, if you are a belt holder and you can't defend your belt because of injury, you should send medicals immediately. Like, immediately. From what we're hearing, Beterbiev has a knee injury, so that shouldn't be difficult to send over scans or whatever. If not, then obviously the WBO might try and strip him. I don't think they will do, because they're going to want to be a part of this undisputed fight between him and Bivol, but I think it's right for the WBO to ask for some sort of medical record. Zhili Zhang, I underestimated Joseph Parker, but I will bomb Deontay Wilder. We'll see. Not long to go until that 5 versus 5. I don't believe the thing he said here about underestimating Joseph Parker. Why would you underestimate someone that's coming off a career best win against Deontay Wilder? I mean, Joseph Parker looked good against Deontay Wilder. And if you did underestimate him, then you need to kind of look at what you're doing in your camp. I think it's a really good fight, though, between him and Deontay Wilder. I feel like I'm swaying to Zhang. Deontay Wilder looked awful against Joseph Parker, and I'm not sure if there's much left with Deontay. I will say this in defense of Deontay. He had been out the ring a long time. Remember, he only had that round against Helenius. So he's only had like a round of boxing prior to the Joseph Parker fight in like 2 years. And I think he's all about timing, right? He's not the best boxer, but once he times that right hand, you're in trouble. So who knows? Now he's had 12 rounds, another camp. Who knows what's left with Deontay? I hope there's a lot left, but we'll see. Virgil Hunter, Inoue should climb in weight to fight Gervonta Davis. Look, this is what a lot of people are saying, but it's a big climb. And funny, because I got critiqued a lot because I've been talking about Crawford climbing to Canelo. And I'll get to why I'm talking about Crawford climbing, but Inoue to Gervonta, 122 to 135. Bear in mind, Gervonta has fought at 140. I don't know. But Leonard Ellaby did say that Gervonta can make 130. So that kind of makes it a bit more, I don't know, a bit more reasonable. 122 to 130, not as crazy as 122 to 135, especially as they can maybe put a rehydration cap in. But look, I don't think the fight will happen. But who knows, man? When there's a lot of money on the table, they would have looked at what Inoue did in Japan with those numbers that he always does. Who knows? Who knows? Chase Canelo Alvarez or GOAT status, debating Terence Crawford's future. Chase Canelo or GOAT status. I feel like they're almost separating the two. I feel like if you chase Canelo, that is chasing GOAT status, no? I mean, if you're Terence Crawford and you're jumping up to 168 pounds to take on the former pound-for-pound #1, an all-time great in Canelo, and you beat him at 168 pounds, That's GOAT conversation. I think that's more GOAT conversation than Crawford beating a champion at 154 or beating a champion at 160. Look, the reason I always talk about Crawford Canelo, and you guys are right, it's a big jump, right? Although his next fight's going to be at 154 and we saw Jamel do it, it's a big jump really because he's a 147 guy. But the reason I'm saying Crawford should maybe go for Canelo is, one, Crawford's been calling out Canelo. This isn't like Inoue Gervonta, where Inoue's not mentioned Gervonta as a potential opponent. Crawford's mentioned Canelo. He wants that fight. So why not jump on it if Crawford's saying it? And number two, there isn't anything at 154, 160 that excites me about Crawford. There isn't. If Jamel was still there at 154, then yeah. If Tim Tszyu blasted through Sebastian Fundora, maybe. So maybe we wait and see how Tim Tszyu looks against Virgil or how Virgil looks against Tim Tszyu. And then you look at 160. I mean, Carlos Adames, who's now just been upgraded to WBC champion, Alam Kanali. Do these fights really excite you? If there were legit killers and exciting big fights at 154 or 160, I would not be saying Crawford should jump to 168. But there simply isn't. Am I wrong? That there simply isn't. So that's the reason I'm saying it. So for all you guys telling me, Ade, why do you keep telling Crawford to jump? Because Crawford's asking to jump and because it's a huge fight, and finally because there aren't that many great fights for him at 154, 160, especially not Crawford at this stage. If Crawford was 30, 31, fine, right? I get it. But he's going to be 37, I think. What are we doing? Have the super fight. Talking of super fights, we are, how many days? 9 days away until Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Just 9 days away. Can we please wrap both of those men in cotton wool? Like, both of those men, just stop what you're doing. No more sparring. Maybe body spar. Like, let's not fuck about anymore, please. Because I don't know, man. I feel like people are so scared of this fight not happening that I don't feel like it's really caught on yet. I think it will come fight week when we know that's it. These guys are ready to go, and you know they do all the media stuff and the media workout and the press conference. Then I think people will kind of jump on board. Right now, I still feel like it's a bit quiet because people are still genuinely scared that Fury's going to pull out or something could happen to Usyk. More Fury pull out than Usyk. But look, guys, I think this fight's going to happen. Obviously, I fly out to Saudi on Sunday to start the sell, if you like, and I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait. I really can't. I mean, this fight, I've wanted this fight since Usyk beat AJ at Tottenham. So that's a long time ago. Honestly, that's a long time ago. As soon as he did that, all I could think about was Fury. I want to see Fury fight him. And we waited a long time, right? Whether it be injuries, Fury going his own route and fighting in Ngannou, and I get why he did it, the money, but still disappointing. Usyk having that fight against Daniel Dubois. We've waited a long time. We rolled the dice a few times, and now we're this close. We're this close. I've changed my mind so many times, and I will change it in the lead up to fight week. I think I've said Usyk. I think that's the last video I did with G-Man. I think I said that Usyk gets it. I don't know. I'm going on your last performance. That's all I can go on. And Fury didn't look good against Ngannou. Fury came in overweight. He got put down. He just looked sloppy. He looked sloppy, didn't he? Throughout the fight week, he looked sloppy. And on fight night, he looked sloppy. Whereas Usyk, I know people are talking about he doesn't like it to the body, but when you go and watch that fight against Daniel Dubois, that's kind of how Usyk fights, apart from the knockdown or the low blow, whatever you want to call it. He kind of starts off slow and then starts to pick you off. That's just how he fights. And he did that against Daniel Dubois. So in a case of what have you done for me lately, Usyk's looked a lot better than Tyson Fury. Plus, Usyk hasn't had the injury or the cut that Tyson Fury had. So I think I'm edging Usyk like 55-45, but my only thing is every time I've kind of picked against Fury, I picked against him I think 3 times. He's just dominated or looked so good in those 3. I picked against him Klitschko, I picked against him, as everyone did, Wilder 1, and I kind of thought, okay, Wilder 2, Wilder's going to get to him, he's never going to stand in front of Wilder, and he did. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm really excited, though. I haven't really... Let me have a quick look again about the card. I mean, I know there's a couple of good fights. Joe Cordina versus Kakache is a good one. You're forgetting about Jaya Pataya, I think, is definitely fighting Maris Bradis. What else is on this card? Let's have a look very quickly. Okay, so yeah, Joe Cordina Gakache for the IBF and IBO super featherweight titles. Obviously, Usyk Fury, Opataya versus Bradis, IBF cruiserweight title that they stripped from Bradis, but now Bradis is fighting. Sorry, they stripped from Opataya, but now Opataya is fighting for it. Weird. Mark Chamberlain gets another shot against Joshua Wahab. Don't know too much about him. I have to read up on him. Sergey Kovalev at cruiserweight is taking on Robin Safa. Sergey Kovalev, you know, what a name, but just what's he got left? Isaac Lowe's on this card. David Nyika, who I feel like has gone a bit quiet recently. Agit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez. Jesus Christ. Both of them identical records, 24-0 versus 24-0. And Moses Atama, who's still looking to be one of those guys that maybe gets in the mix next year. I know it sounds crazy, but it could happen. Takes on a guy called Mezenchev. I have to get these pronunciations locked down in the next couple of days. Good card. Solid card. What am I talking about? It's a ridiculously good card. Opataya versus Bradis. Agit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez. Fury versus Usyk. Cordina versus Kakache. Fucking hell. That's solid. Anything else before we wrap? What we got here? Caleb Plant is the best instigator of beef in boxing. What Caleb Plant does well is he always makes fights for himself. Always does it. He's very smart. He actually does it where he tries to come across as the innocent, the victim. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Like all of a sudden now, if Canelo doesn't fight Berlanga, now we want to see Berlanga versus Caleb Plant. Right? That's the fight we want to see. He's very good at doing it, but we'll see what happens next with him. No idea where he goes next. I would like to see him fight Berlanga. I think he beats Berlanga, but I'm not sure. If you're Berlanga and you've got even an opportunity, even a small opportunity of fighting Canelo, you fight Canelo. Not that he deserves it. I haven't seen this fight, Sergey Lipinets versus Robbie Davis. I heard that Robbie Davis put in a hell of a performance, and everyone's saying that round 8, one of the rounds of the years. I've not seen it, but I will watch it and give my thoughts on it in a couple of days. All right, guys, girls, we are done. Peace and love.